Alrighty, joining us now is a New Jersey native, out of the Rutgers alum, a Super Bowl winning fullback, we can now say, from the Kansas City Chiefs, number 45, Mr. Mike Burton. How are you, mate?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty good, Carts. How are you travelling?
I'm going great, and we're very, very lucky to have you on, Mike, so thanks heaps for jumping on, mate.
Absolutely. No, thank you guys for having me.
Now, we will start off. We're going to get to it later, but we'll start off by saying, congratulations on winning the biggest game in the land.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it was an amazing experience. It was awesome, and just so thankful to have accomplished that, for sure.
Yeah, you've definitely accomplished more than, how many teams? 31 teams with 50 odd. So a few thousand people, which is pretty huge.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. So,
we always like to start off with, have you ever been out to Australia and visited Down Under?
I have not. There's actually a few Australian reporters out at the Super Bowl that I spoke with. They asked me the same question. They said it's an amazing place to visit, but I have not been there. So I would like to, maybe one day. I think that would be pretty cool.
Do you reckon they would tell you that it's no good?
Yeah.
It's like, nah, mate. Don't stress. It's no good out here.
Don't bother coming. Yeah.
I gotcha.
So you grew up in Long Valley, New Jersey, is that right?
Yes, that is correct. Yep.
And then you went to high school not far from there. So was football always your sport, or did you grow up playing others as well?
So I grew up playing all the sports, soccer, baseball, lacrosse, obviously football, basketball. You name it. I tried it when I was young. I just kind of fell in love with the football and the physicality of it. And just that's what I wanted to kind of stick with as I got later into high school and then obviously through college.
Yeah. So you are quite a solid unit. So I can see that would play a lot better for football than soccer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Do you get back to Long Valley much?
So I did up until my parents moved down here. I'm in Maryland now. That's where I live now with my wife and two daughters. We moved here in 2019. My parents lived in Long Valley up until last year, 2021. So up until then, I was going back as frequently as I could, mostly during the off seasons and stuff like that. But since they moved, I have not been back to Long Valley specifically, but I did go to Rutgers, which is about 30 minutes from Long Valley, to their spring game this past year. So I get up there every so often, but not as much as I used to.
How was it getting back to Rutgers?
It was awesome. It was great. I went to their spring game, so I got to meet some of the players, some of the new coaches, because they just switched head coaches, who actually was my head coach when I was there, and then he left, and then he came back. So I got to reconnect with him and some of his staff and players on the team. So it was a great experience. I always enjoy going back there. They're first class and everything that they do. So just really nice to get back there and watch that spring game.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure they would have loved having you back anyway.
Yeah, no, it was great. They had a few former NFL guys come back, and I'm hoping to get back out there this year too. My teammate Isaiah Pacheco, the running back, he's also a Rutgers guy. So,
beauty.
Both of us can get up there would be nice.
I was going to say, I wonder how many getting back there are Super Bowl winners, but obviously Isaiah is also in that category.
Yeah, exactly right. Yep, for sure.
So the fact that you're not far from New York, did you grow up a Jets or a Giants fan?
So if I had to lean one way, it was Giants over the Jets. My family was big Giants fans. My dad, older brother, my uncle, they all were Giants fans. So if I had to lean one way, it would probably have been Giants over the Jets growing up. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair enough. They've both been a bit rough lately.
The whole family's leaning that way, isn't
exactly. I mean, you grow up and it's always – plus it's on every Sunday, right? Because that's the team. So whether they're home or away, it's typically going to be on. So you just grow up watching them. And they had some good years where they won the Super Bowl. So there was some exciting times. So, it was, I guess, a little bit easier to be a fan.
So you've mentioned that you ended up at Rutgers. How many offers did you get from anywhere else, or was it Rutgers all the way?
So I walked on at Rutgers. I had a few Division I AA scholarships, like 4 or 5, some local schools, New Hampshire, Albany, Loyola, Lafayette, Towson, Lehigh. So it's some lower Division I AA schools. Yeah, Monmouth. So East Coast schools. And but I always wanted to play at Rutgers, just being from New Jersey, kind of representing that R, and playing for my home state school was something that I was always interested that I wanted to do. Plus, they were Division I, and I always felt like I wanted to play at the highest level. I thought that would give you the best opportunity to play in the NFL. Not that you can't get there from going to other schools, you most certainly could, but I just felt my path wanted to play at the highest level, and for me, that was Rutgers.
Yeah, and obviously you speak pretty glowingly of it, and pretty happy to and willing to get back there. You obviously enjoyed your time there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was 5 years there, so I redshirted my freshman year, so I actually spent 5 years there, and I loved every minute of it. It's close to home. It was 30 minutes away, so friends and family could go watch me play, but it's also, at the time, maybe 50,000 undergrads, so it felt like you were at a large university that could have been hours away from your house. So I got both feels of being close to home, being able to see family, but also the sense of like a big college town, multiple campuses, and like I said, a ton of kids went there, so got to meet a lot of good people. Yeah,
you got that good experience of both. What did you study while you were there?
So I was a double major in psychology and communication.
Okay.
I went about that because I think when I'm done playing, I want to coach. And I asked my head coach, what did you major in? At the time it was Greg Schiano, and he said psychology. And, it just, if you study that, so it's a better way to kind of interact with your players, how you can communicate with them, which take criticism well, which don't. So you kind of try to get in the mind of them and to become a better coach. So I went that route if I ever get into that space, when I'm done playing.
Yeah. Do you get to, does Coach Reed know that you want to get into that space and get to do things while you're there?
I haven't mentioned that to him yet, but I'm sure whenever.
He's a big fan of the podcast, so he'll know this.
And watch this, you'll find out.
Yeah. So when whenever, I'm done, that'll be something I'd mention to him for sure. He's a great coach, so I'm learning a lot right now just being in the building with him. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So you had a pretty steady rise from your time there, from about 2011 to 2014, if I've got that right. And you capped it off with the inaugural Quick Lane Bowl over North Carolina. How was it going? How was it leaving on a win like that?
Yeah, that was a great way to end. I mean, my year was the first year in the Big Ten. And to kind of finish off, we were at 8-5, and to finish off with a bowl victory against North Carolina, which was a great team at the time. It was very special for us to go to a bowl game, but also win it. Kind of try to set the standard and expectation for years to come. That's something that myself and my senior class took pride in, was kind of setting the standard for years to come after we were gone. And it's just a special moment and a great game, and I'm glad we were able to win it.
Would you say that was your highlight from college, or was there more?
Yeah, I mean, we played in a couple bowl games. We played in some new era pinstripe bowl games where we played Iowa State and Notre Dame. So we played at Yankee Stadium, so that was pretty cool. But the Quick Lane Bowl was definitely the best. It was a great game. We won. We played really well, and it was right around Christmas, and there was some pretty cool stuff to do in Detroit and stuff like that. So that was definitely one of the highlights for sure.
So Yankee Stadium, was it the old stadium or the new one?
That would have been, I don't know when the new one was built. So I'm assuming it was maybe the old one. It would have been back in, I got there in 2010. It would have been like 2011, 2012, 13, around there. So
how did it work with the diamond? Was the field a bit awkward, or was it?
Yeah, they put grass. They would roll out grass. So it was all grass field, and it covered the sand and the outfield and all that kind of stuff. So, they had nice grass rolled in, and they made it look really nice. And the way the baseball stadiums are set up, fans were a little bit closer to the stadium, or closer to the benches. So it was pretty cool. A little bit more personal connection and stuff with the fans, just because they were a little bit closer. So it was a cool experience.
Yeah, for sure. So after that, you took your talents to the NFL and you're nominated for the draft and get picked up at number 168 to the Detroit Lions. How did you find, pre-draft, the process, the preparation, all your pro days and things like that?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a great experience. I was able to lean on some Rutgers players who had been through the process before: Devin, Jason McCourty, Brian Leonard, Kevin Malice. Those were guys who went through Rutgers, went through the pre-draft process, played in the NFL. So being able to lean on them and kind of ask them how the process was going to go, the combine and the pro day and the training and all those things was very helpful. But it was an awesome experience. It led me up to this point, so I wouldn't change anything of it. Live and learn, and you try to get better along the way. But it's just been an awesome experience, so far in my career.
Yeah, that's great. Did you, in that week leading up and all that sort of stuff, do you have much communication with teams, and do you get a bit of an idea about where you might be going? Or is that all through your agent? Or
yes, it's mostly through your agent. He handles kind of that business, the conversations with teams and all that kind of stuff. As a player, at least for me, I wasn't really part of that. I mean, you have an idea whether you can get drafted or not, but you just never know. You talk to teams at the combine, you talk to teams at your pro day, you talk to your teams leading up, but the draft is so fluent. They might think they're going to get a guy, then he gets picked, so their board changes, so then you might go up and down on their board. So it's just very fluid situation, and you got to just be ready to go, because whether you get drafted or you're undrafted, once your foot's in the door and you're there, none of that really matters. You got to work, and you got to earn your spot every single day you're in the building. So I didn't really pay too much attention to that. I was definitely thankful and blessed that I got drafted, but I just wanted an opportunity to compete and get into the NFL. So just thankful, I had that chance.
Yeah, it's all just white noise until you hear your name get called, and you're like, "We're in. Let's do it."
Exactly. Right.
Where were you when you heard you got picked?
I was just back at my house in Long Valley at my parents' house. Yeah, just hung around for the weekend up there, and we were watching the draft. I enjoy the draft anyway. I'm a football guy, big fan, so I was going to watch it whether I was in the draft or not. I still watch the drafts now. So
pretty special moment with the fam.
They were excited. More so all right, it's time to get to work.
Let's get to work. Yeah,
exactly. They were very excited for me, and I was excited too. But I was ready to to get to work and get out there. And I think I ended up flying out a couple of days later and had rookie mini camp and then veteran mini camp and training camp and all that stuff. So it was an awesome experience, and I'm glad I was able to share with my family.
Yeah.
Since then, you've been a little bit of a journeyman. You've gone, 2 seasons at Detroit, 2 at Chicago, Washington, New Orleans, but the last few you've been at Kansas. Looks like you've found your spot, your little niche. How's it feeling there at the moment? Obviously pretty good now, but... Yeah,
it's, right now it's amazing. Yeah, but look, it's an awesome place. It's an awesome culture led by Coach Reed. He's brought together a great staff. He's brought great guys into the building, him and Brett Veach and his staff. And it's just an awesome place to be. He treats us like professionals, demands a lot out of us, which I love. And guys respond in a great way because we all want to win. At the end of the day, that's the goal, is to win world championships. That's why we're in this business. And there's no better team than doing it than Kansas City. So it's an awesome spot. And love Coach Reed and everything that he's about. And just really thankful to be part of, what we were able to accomplish, this past year.
And that seems to be the overwhelming message coming from the locker room and all the players about the love for Coach Reed and all that. But I want to just touch on quickly before we get back to Kansas City and Coach Reed. But you might be able to hear, I've got two young kids upstairs that are absolutely running amok. You've got a young family yourself. How's that gone, sort of moving, city to city and stuff the last few years? And, is it good now to be a bit more settled at Kansas?
Yeah, so I have a wife, 2 daughters, and look, they're awesome. They've supported my dream, especially my wife. I've been with her since high school, so she was in a part of this dream with me, and she understands what it takes, to play at this level and all the demands, and not only in the season but in the off season as well. So she's, the rock for this family. She's the glue. She's amazing. She does everything for the kids. I'm home as much as I can, trying to help out and do everything I can as well. But a lot of the work, falls on her, especially during the season, and she responds in such a great way. So it's great, man. We've been to a few different cities, but it's nice to experience that. But to be able to, past couple of years, be in Kansas City, get comfortable there with the living situation and all that, it's been great.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's really good to hear. You can't do it without that support network at home, can you?
Exactly right. Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll keep going away from the facility at the moment. What is a day away from Arrowhead and for arguably the best fullback in the game? What kind of hobbies do you have just to keep your mind away from football?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I enjoy time with family, be around family, man. I mean, I think, you know, if there's one thing that is difficult for me, and that's to get away from football. You know, I enjoy it. I love it. You know, I want to study it. So sometimes when I'm even home, I'll watch tape and I'll watch film and I'll be studying it. And, you know, it's important to me. You know, it's my job right now, but it's a passion for me. I really love the game. I love being around it and I love playing it. So try to get away from it, spend time with family, you know, especially early in the off season and stuff like that. But, you know, there's that switch that turns on and you want to get back in the gym. You want to, you know, get working out again and you got goals that you want to accomplish and all those such things. I mean, especially when you win a Super Bowl, you understand what that feeling is like and you want to get back there. So, you know, you get home, you get off your feet a little bit, but then it's right back to it, man. And, you know, this consistency, I think great teams and great players, those that can be consistent each day, each year, I think those, you know, teams and guys are able to separate themselves from good to great. So just trying to be like that and, you know, get better every day.
So are you watching the other games when you're not playing?
The other games, not necessarily because we're, you know, we obviously all play on the same day. I mean, I guess on the Monday night.
Yeah, Thursday Monday or Thursday.
Yeah, Monday and Thursday nights. If we're not playing them, you know, I'll throw it on for sure. If I'm not studying the opponent that we're playing that week. But, yeah, definitely enjoy watching it for sure all throughout the season.
You've shared the running back room with some pretty elite talent. Me and Cardi, we're pretty huge fans of Pacheco. He's a very angry runner, but it's very entertaining to watch. But who would you say has had the biggest impact or influence on yourself? Wow.
I mean, you're talking about specifically the Kansas City or just overall?
No, over your career. Like you've been in a lot of running back rooms. Like you've played with a few, like Alvin Kamara's one, like some pretty elite players.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I play with a lot of great running backs, and you know, they all bring different skill sets to the table. You know, like you mentioned Alvin, like you mentioned Isaiah. You know, all those different guys, and you know, the one thing I think about all the great ones that I played with that have helped me get better, you know, their patience, their vision, their combination of speed and quickness and all those different type of things just make them great players. And obviously Isaiah, right? Pacheco, he's runs angry, runs violent.
Oh yeah,
not contact, and he just brings a ton of energy to the team, to the offense, and it was great having him this year. I've known him since he was a sophomore in college, so I'm not surprised by the success that he's having. But, yeah, he's been an awesome guy to be with and play with this year for sure.
So I want to take you back to just a couple of specific dates before we get on to talk about the Super Bowl. December 21 in 2015, you caught a 4-yard pass from Matt Stafford for your first career touchdown. And then December 17 in 2021, a rushing touchdown against the Chargers. What kind of feelings are you getting when you're crossing that end zone?
Yeah, look, it's great feelings for sure because you've helped your team score. You've helped your team, you know, win the game. You know, a lot of the touchdowns and all that kind of stuff, you know, I'm not doing it for personal recognition or success. It's all geared towards the team, you know, and it's not just me doing those things on those plays. You know, you got to credit the quarterback, you know, Matt making the right throw, the offensive coordinator, you know, dialing up the right play at the right time. You know, our offensive line on that touchdown in 2021 was amazing. You know, they just took out all the D linemen, made a great path for me to come through. So it's all a team effort, you know, for when you're scoring. You know, coaches involved too, you know, scheming that up, willing to call it. So it takes an effort from everyone. So just special when you're able to, you know, work on that stuff during the week, get executing the game and score and help your team win the game. So just definitely very, very, very thankful to have been part of those two situations.
It's a very tough position, the fullback position, for those who don't know, because I feel like you have to do a lot of unselfish things that are not put down on the stat sheet. So when people see it and they go, oh, he hasn't touched the ball, he hasn't done anything, but you're doing a lot, you know, a lot of blocking and things like that for other running backs. What made you go down the fullback position instead of the running back?
Yeah, so I played running back in high school, and then when I got to college, I got to Rutgers, I was converted over to fullback, and ever since then, that's what I played. And, there's some similarities to the running back. I think having played that growing up and playing that in high school helped me have vision to read the holes like a running back. So when I'm inserting for running play, I have this kind of the same sense and eyes that maybe the back's going to go this way. So it kind of can help us put us on the same page. So just having that in my background, I think is beneficial. And I like the physicality of it. I like, being able to open up a hole so the running back can get through, right? To me, that's more, gets me more excited, more juiced up than me maybe scoring the touchdown is getting my buddy across the end zone by moving a guy out of the way and all those types of things. And I like the versatility aspect of it, of being a guy who's got to be able to catch, run, block, do different things, and help the offense, be successful. I think the fullback can help the offense, be, with different personnel groups. You can bring them on the field, help defense, get them off their heels and stuff like that, create some challenges if you bring a fullback on the field. So I just try to be as versatile as I can to, help the offense as best I can.
And it sounds like, and definitely coming across that, you're big on that, like ultimate team success. Is that a big factor as well in getting like that, that satisfaction playing the fullback role, like for you, like, team first success, like you'll get pumped up for, like you said, getting that block on so the running back can get through. Like,
absolutely. Yeah. I agree. 100%. That's just my mentality. I think we're playing the greatest team sport of all time. And I think if everybody has the same goal and it's work together, it's put the team first. And I think that's where you'll find your most successful team. So I try to bring that to the team, and whatever team I'm playing on, try to be that team first guy. And, I try to do that on special teams too. I understand the importance of special teams is incredibly important. Something I love to do. Love being a guy and a leader on that unit. And, that's always something I'm trying to work on to get better at that, each and every day, just to be, the best complete player I can be.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, if you've got a whole team pulling for that team first mentality, that's where you see the success come from a lot of the times, isn't it? And
if no one cares about the recognition and who scores and the stats, and it's all about what can I do to help this team win, if everybody has that mindset, and I think that's what the Chiefs have, they have guys that just want to win, and it doesn't matter who gets the recognition. And I think that's why, you saw us, win the Super Bowls here and get to the top.
And it was like, case in point, late in the game, you guys were working the clock, managing it beautifully, and McKinnon had the opportunity to run in for, to get his name and have a Super Bowl touchdown, but he slid and, did the team first thing. And that's exactly proof in the pudding right there.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of a teammate doing that. And that's why I say, it's putting the team first, and he put by putting the team first, he put us in a great situation to win the game, and, I'm not surprised he did that. He's a very unselfish player, unselfish person. And, we practice that play and we practice that situation weekly, and it comes up in the game. And that's what he did. And it was just awesome to see.
Yeah, it was great to see.
It's pretty obvious that you've definitely bought in, and you're part of that ultimate teammate kind of mentality. It was a game I was watching earlier in the year, you guys against the Titans. And the young tight end, Noah Gray, took a pretty crucial catch late in the game. It got you, moved the changes. I think it might have been fourth down. And you were the first one there to pick him up, to congratulate him, tap him on the ass. Is that something that you pride yourself on, or is it just come naturally?
Yeah. Look, I pride myself in showing up around the ball, being around the ball, and, help my teammates up after they, get tackled and stuff like that. And he made an unbelievable catch. And I think it was in a crucial situation, third or fourth and short, if I can remember correctly. And it was, he went up over top someone and probably tipped and came down. It was just great concentration. And, I see the work that he puts in, week out, every day, catching balls off the jugs, working with the quarterbacks extra. So to see his hard work come to fruition, in a game, in a critical situation, I couldn't have been happier for him.
Yeah, no, that was the exact play though. It was huge, and I think it ended up getting you guys the win. So it was a huge play. But for those that aren't of us, that are never going to reach the highs that you've literally just reached, I want to go through the preparation and the film and the weight training. What does a normal week look like for you?
So for the regular season or leading up to the Super Bowl? Or
Nah, just a regular season. We'll get into the Super Bowl.
yeah. So typically Mondays will be off. Completely day after a game will be off, but you're able to come in if you want to get a flush workout. Just kind of get your legs back if you're sore. If you need to get treatment and stuff like that, then you have access to that. All day and stuff like that. And then on Tuesday we'll come in. We'll meet with the coaches. We'll watch the tape, review it, go over the mistakes and stuff like that. And again, get some workouts in, get some recovery in, kind of get your body ready to roll for the week ahead. And then Wednesday, we're out there practicing full speed. We got meetings, practice, post-practice meetings and stuff like that. And that's pretty much the same through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then you have a light walkthrough on Saturday, and then you play on Sunday. So there's a lot of great work that gets put in, a lot of film study, a lot of working out, stay on top of your body, make sure nutrition's right and sleeping and all those types of things so that when you get to Sunday, you're ready to roll. And there isn't a better coach than Coach Reed about setting up the schedule to make sure our bodies feel great, for Sunday. And I think you saw with how many games we played this year, we're still an incredibly healthy team. That's Coach Reed and Rick, our head athletic trainer, keeping guys healthy. And, we had guys, go to distance. Even with an added game, the season was longer, and guys were still ready to roll high energy. And I think it's because of how Coach Reed sets up the schedule.
I think you've got the best medical team going around with Patrick Mahomes getting up and about after that hard roll ankle.
Yeah. Look, that's a testament to him, Pat himself, the training staff, put in all the hours to work to get treatment. That's Pat's competitive nature, knowing that he doesn't even want, let alone miss a game. He didn't want to miss a practice. I mean, he was out there every day working his butt off to get better, to get his ankle right. So, hats off to him for putting in that effort. Not surprised. That's just who he is as a person and player. And, he did a lot of great work with the training staff for sure.
Popular. So the last few years, I don't know if you've noticed that the tight end university has really taken off, and the boys like Kelsey and Kittle have really led the charge with that. Is there a fullback you on the way? Do you have a group text with Derek Watt and Kyle Juszczyk?
Yeah, I don't have a group chat with them, but that would be awesome. If there was a fullback you, I would definitely attend. I'd love to be a part of it, but as of right now, I don't think there's anything in the works, at least that I know of.
It might be a way to dip your toe in the coaching area and just get a little feel for it.
Get everybody together and coach technique and that kind of stuff. Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Any Given Sunday. We'll bring that up. So we'll get on to it now. You're wearing the beanie. It looks immaculate. The 12th of Feb must hold a pretty special spot in your heart right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an amazing game, man. Such a special event to be out there, get there, and then to win it, and just see the emotions and the energy of the entire organization, players, coaches, personnel staff, training room staff, equipment staff, strength staff. I mean, you name it. It was awesome just to be able to spend that moment with everyone, because the way the league works is the team won't be the same, the following year. There's turnover every single year, no matter which team you play for. But we have a bond now with this group and this team that can't get taken away, and it's something that we're going to be able to have, for the rest of our lives.
You spoke about the routine for a regular week, but 2 weeks leading into the Super Bowl, what kind of lead up is that like? Is it a long 2 weeks? Does it go pretty quickly?
Yeah, it was a combination of both. I think, it was nice to have that extra week to kind of get some rest, get off your legs a little bit, and, physically, feel better for the game. But, we were able to install and get all of our stuff done in a really timely manner. And, again, that's credit to Coach Reed setting up the schedule, the practices, the meetings. We felt incredibly prepared going into that game. And, everybody's ready to go. We were able to play fast just because we knew the game plan, on the back of our hand. And, guys were able to go out there and fly around. Bodies felt great. Mentally, they felt great. So, Coach Reed put us in a great position to be successful that day.
Timmy?
Oh, sorry, I was going to say, so game day routine for Super Bowl, does that change much for you as opposed to a regular season game? Obviously, there's a lot more going on. Like I think you said, you even spoke to some Aussie media
Yeah, they
on the day, so it's probably a bit different.
Yeah, on game day didn't change as much. I try to keep the same routine, but the only thing that really changed was halftime was a little bit longer. So
yeah,
and pregame was a little bit longer as well, and some of the timeouts were a little bit longer. So you just wanted to make sure you weren't on your feet a whole bunch when you didn't have to be. You wanted to kind of make sure you got re-warmed up at halftime, which, again, I know I keep saying this, but Coach Reed had a schedule of talking with your coaches, going over scheme, talking about the second half, and then, warming up with the strength coach to make sure when we got back out there, we were ready to go. So it was just a longer day, but, we talked about it prior, so we had the schedule down, so guys were ready to go.
Yeah, everyone's aware of it before the game. Exactly. Knowing that the halftime break's a little bit longer, that sort of leads into a question we're going to talk about. Does that give Coach Reed and the other coaches a bit more of a chance to make adjustments? Is that a normal thing? Will you make adjustments at halftime, or is it more just about getting, like you said, getting warmed back up and getting ready and going back out and getting back into it?
A little bit of both, I would say. I think the longer time, players were able to spend a little bit longer time with their coaches. So coaches were able to talk a little bit more about, hey, this is what we want to get into in the second half. These are some runs. These are some passes that we haven't called yet. They're still on, they're still on the call list, so we can get these off in the second half. This is what we're thinking, run-wise, pass-wise, that kind of stuff. So there was a little bit more time to kind of talk through. So, the offense kind of had an idea of what we were thinking going into the second half.
Yeah.
How much confidence do you get, like, going into a game, and especially the Super Bowl, early on, just getting the ball moving, and you've got Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce on your offense, and they just get the game just started right, on the Kansas City side? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, obviously, you got Pat, you got Travis. It's an unbelievable duo. The best quarterback tight end duo in the league history, right? And you addition that with Coach Reed and his masterful offensive play calling. You know it's going to be a great day, and everybody that whole week on offense and the whole team, but specifically on offense, prepared amazing that week from offensive line, tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks. So everybody was juiced up, ready to go, and just you feel confidence. You put in the work all year long. You put in the work leading up to it. You're prepared. You watch your tape. You went through the practice reps. You've worked out, you've lifted weights, you've done all these things. So when you step on that field, you're prepared, and you just let it fly.
It's unfortunate that it is a talking point, but you were running around on turf or grass that was worth $800,000, but it was a little bit slippery from our point of view. How did you find it? How did you find keeping your feet?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't pay too much close attention to that, just because it's something that's kind of out of my control. It's like, hey, this is the grass we're playing on, so you can switch cleats if you want, or you got to just be cautious when you're in and out of routes, making sure you have constant bend in your knees, hips, and ankles. Really, you're in a good football position and that kind of stuff. So really, it's just maybe one thing you got to be a little bit more cautious about. But we talked about that leading up to the game. So going out early in pregame and kind of getting your footing and running through routes or things that you might be doing in the game at maybe a little bit more full speed than you normally would do in a warm up, just to see how the fitting and stuff worked out. So guys were professionals. Guys understood. We got to make sure the footing's right and all those types of things. But our equipment staff, they did a great job with letting us know, kind of how the turf was going to be.
All right, just take it back. There's roughly a minute to go in the first half, and Patrick Mahomes, someone lands on his ankle again, and he goes down, and he was in like a fair bit of pain on the sidelines. Did you see that, and how are you feeling at that point?
Yeah, I mean, look, you never want to see a guy get injured, especially Pat, especially anyone. You don't want to see a guy like that get injured, and but I had all the faith in the world that he was going to get up. I just knowing him as a person, as a competitor, how tough he is, how great our athletic training staff is. I knew that he was going to be able to get right back out there. So wasn't surprised that he got back out there and continued to run and make things happen with his feet. Like I said, when you're playing in a game like that, of such high magnitude, your adrenaline, your competitiveness, I think, can just kind of override any aches, bumps, and bruises that you might have. And I think there was no question that he was coming back out there.
Did you? So you were pretty confident in the sheds then, when because it was pretty much at halftime. So when he was in getting treatment, you were still very confident that he was going to come back?
Yeah, I think the halftime probably helped for him to get off his ankle a little bit, maybe get it retaped or looked at or whatever the scenario was there. But like I said, there was never down my mind that he wasn't going to come back out there and lead us to victory. And that's exactly what he did.
So the second half was a very different story. You were 10 points down at the half, but second half, 4 drives, 3 touchdowns, and obviously the game-winning field goal. Is there anything that you think that actually helped get Mahomes and you guys back in the groove?
So actually, yeah, I think the first drive out of the second half was a tone setter. You're going in the halftime, you're down 10, you come out, you have the ball. There's a big difference between going down and scoring or going 3 and out and putting the ball away. And we were able to go down. I think it was, an 80-something yard drive. We were able to run the ball. We were throwing the ball. I think the offense got in a rhythm. You saw Pat distributing the ball all over. The offensive line was getting in groove, mowing guys down. Pacheco, McKinnon, they were doing great things on the ground. So I think it got us in a rhythm, and it was a great tone setter. And obviously cut the lead to 3, early in the third quarter. And I think that was a great way for us to start the second half.
Is there like a noticeable shift in like you feel like obviously momentum's going your way? Can you notice it on the sidelines? Like you guys might be starting to get a bit more up and about and the talk's up, and then can you see it over the other side on the Philly? Like are they a bit heads down, their talk's down a little bit? Like do you notice that in game?
Yeah, I think, the way the games go, there's going to be ups and downs. So you're going to face adversity during the games. And I think it's the team that can weather the storm the best usually come out more successful and on top. And I think whether we were up 10, down 10 at halftime, we were coming out with that same mentality of, we're getting the ball coming out of half. We have to score. Let's put a drive together. Let's run the ball, throw the ball, do all the things that we know we're capable of that we've done all year. And we were able to, put that on display and score coming out of the half. So, like I said, there's ups and downs, but you got to just weather that storm and keep lining up. And the next snap is going to be your best snap. That's kind of the mentality that you got to have.
Yeah, love it.
Speaking of momentum shifts and riding the ups, what was it like? And where were you watching Kadarius Toney nearly run that punt back? Was it 68 yards or something, and just going over the sideline?
That was a goal of ours as a punt return unit, special teams unit, to return a punt return and a touchdown. That had never been done in the history of the Super Bowl. So I think we were like 5 yards short. But
close.
We do hold on to the longest one, so I guess that's
it.
But again, that starts at the top. Obviously it starts with Coach, Dave Tobe and his staff dialing that play call up, calling it at the right time. And then every single person on that unit executing their job to perfection, blocking, hustling. I went back and watched the game a few times, after the game, and I was able to really study it on my iPad. And you saw guys just outworking guys on that play, just hustle, just wanting more, throwing blocks, playing through the whistle. And I think that's just the mentality that we have on special teams and the Kansas City as a whole, is that we're not going to give up. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep battling no matter what it takes. And I think, that play specifically kind of put that on display.
Well, and that can be, like you said, like special teams can be so important, and like they can produce these game-changing moments.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in a game like that, if you're able to flip the field and put your offense in really good field position, like we were able to on that punt return, we get inside the 10-yard line with our offense and the playmakers that we have, you feel really good about, getting 7 points.
Pretty confident you're going to score, yeah.
And then, obviously, it culminates in the final field goal. Where were you for that? And, you only had 8 seconds after that. So were you pretty confident that it was done, or did you think that they could actually get it down there?
I've learned that until that scoreboard says 0-0, you never really know.
Yeah.
But I had all the faith in the world in Harrison making that kick. He's another guy who puts in the work on a consistent basis. His due diligence in being the best kicker that he can be, from his nutrition to his working out to his practice habits to his game habits, are amazing. So when he lined up for that kick, I had all the faith in the world. And then, when that 8 seconds left and, we kicked it off, I knew that our coverage unit was going to do a great job of getting the guy down on the ground. And then, of course, our defense came up, next play with a huge stop. When they tried to do that Hail Mary attempt. So again, it was a group effort. You saw the special teams show up late in the game, and defense and offense. So it's just awesome to see all three phases come together, to win that game.
And then since then, how have the celebrations been, and how's the week been since then?
Yeah, it's been awesome. We got back to Kansas City, and we had the parade on Wednesday, which was amazing in itself. Seeing all the fans there, the Chiefs Kingdom, just the red of sea coming down on the buses, and being able to get up on stage, and as far as the eye could see, you saw red. So it's just showing the passion of the fans, and they're amazing. They really are. Our home fans, and I mean, they do an unbelievable job for home games. And just to be able to see them there, supporting us and being out there on a Wednesday at noon was awesome to see. But I'm not surprised because they really are the best fans in the world.
Was it a late night? Sorry, was it a late night after the Super Bowl?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Was it a late night after the Super Bowl, or was it too knackered and in to bed early?
Yeah. Yeah. So we were able to celebrate as a team after the Super Bowl as well. We went back to the team hotel, and guys were there hanging out, and family was able to come, and you saw the support staff there. And it was just really cool to see all basically Kansas City, employees and coaches and players and families all kind of one hotel to celebrate, such an awesome victory.
Do you get much of a moment post-game, like obviously they have to do the presentations and everything, where everyone's able to get back in the locker room and you can just spend that time together as a team? I know you said, like, obviously there's a bit of turnover, like you'll never have that group together again. Do you get that like special half an hour you're all just in there together, like in the locker room after the game, or is it a bit chaotic? Is it, press conferences and all that sort of stuff?
Chaotic. The media's in there talking to guys, and some other guys are going out to speak to the media. But, yeah, I mean, when you're in there, man, and all the players are in there and all the coaches in there, and you're just walking around and high-fiving everybody and just telling them congratulations, what an awesome game and an awesome year, and we did it, and all those types of things. So it's just really special. You go through a lot with these coaches and with these players. It's a long season, off season. There's a lot of hours spent together, at practice and meetings and all those things, knowing that this is the ultimate goal to get to here. And to get there and to win it was just so special, just because the process and the path to get there is a grinder, and it's all worth it. When you hold up that trophy and get the rings eventually, it's all worth it. Because that's why you're in this business. It's for rings and hanging banners. So.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Who's designing the ring, and when do you get your hands on it?
That I don't know. I don't know who's designing it. I'm not sure when we get it. We got fitted for them for the parade, but I'm looking forward to getting those. I'm not sure. That'll be
a special moment. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is the Lombardi heavy?
It's a little bit heavier than you think. Yeah, it actually is, and just kind of how it's shaped. Like, you got to make sure you have a strong grip so it doesn't slip out of your hands. But it's definitely a little bit heavier than you would think, for sure.
Did you get the chance to drink a beer off it? I saw a few of the boys pouring the beers down.
No, I didn't get the chance to do that. No, that's not for me. So
yeah,
but looked like fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of fun, it looked like Travis Kelce really made the most of his celebrations. What was he like out there?
Yeah, he was awesome. I mean, he's just a guy full of energy, great attitude, obviously a great player, everything he does physically on the football field, but he's just as great off the field, just a great person. Says hello, hi to everyone, has a conversation with everyone. I mean, just always got a smile on his face, always bringing energy, to practices and games. And for a guy who's, played a long time in this league, and he's still bringing that juice, is still bringing that energy. And, that's just one part of what makes him such a great player. But awesome to be around, great teammate. And, couldn't be happier for him to win another one.
Yeah, for sure. We got one final question each, but before we do that, I just really want to thank you for your time. You've been so generous, and we really do appreciate the fact that now we can say that we've had a Super Bowl winner on our show. So really just want to thank you for your time, mate.
No, thank you. And sorry I had to keep pushing it and all that kind of stuff. So I'm glad we were able to finally make it work and get on here. You guys have been great. So.
It's worked out perfect for us, mate. We can't thank you enough.
How can I follow you guys on, like, Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay,
We
perfect.
do, yeah.
We'll do a quick rundown of all the socials once we wrap it up. But my final question: what's the next few weeks for you look like? Obviously, you got some time off, fair bit of time with the family.
So took a little bit of time off when I got back from Kansas City, but you're already getting back into it. Having played in the Super Bowl and going to the Super Bowl, it shortens up your offseason a little bit. Not that you would trade that, because you definitely wouldn't. You want to be a Super Bowl champion, but OTAs is right around the corner, so you got to get back to work. You got to make sure you're taking care of your body, getting that rest, or eating right, and all those things. Because a couple weeks, a few months go by, and boom, you're going to be right back to it. And you want to left off. You want to start off where you left off, and you don't want to miss a beat, and you want to get back there again. So it's got to put the work in, and even more work. More work than it was last year. It's going to take to get back there. So looking forward to it, but started working out again, and just excited for the next season.
Yeah, awesome. Well, yeah, everyone's coming even harder for you next season again. So yeah,
exactly.
you guys got to get better somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly right.
And then my one is two parts. Is what does the next 5 years look like for yourself? Obviously, we're hoping to stay in Kansas. And then how do I get myself a Mike Burton signed jersey as well to hang up in the background?
The next 5 years, man, hopefully Kansas City still playing ball, man. That's my goal. I want to play as long as I can. It's always been a dream of mine. And, I'm definitely not going to be the one to walk away from it. It's not going to be my decision. I'm going to want to play as long as I can. Keep playing, man. I love this game. Love everything about it. Love the relationships I get to build. Love the competitiveness of it. I know it's going to help me further in life, when eventually it does come to an end. But, and the jersey, I could definitely get you one. If you want to send me one, I could sign it and send it back, or whatever you want to do, man. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely, that would be. But I honestly still can't believe that we've actually got you on here. So I really can't thank you enough, and all the best going forward with the coaching when that does actually come about too.
Yes. Awesome. No, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on. You guys are awesome.
We appreciate your time so much, mate. We'll get you to send us a photo when you get your ring too. We'll chuck that up on the socials.
We'll do. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to run